Okay, let's see here. Thank you guys. It's so nice to see that people are already waiting. It's the first time I scheduled this, so I'm really quite happy about how I was able to let you guys know ahead of time. I'm going to talk lots of things in this live. I hope that you guys are doing well. If you are watching, please pop any questions down in the comments if you have something you want me to answer. Like I'm doing all these months, once a month, I really want this to kind of just be a time where you can ask any questions regarding transitioning to a vegan diet or a whole food plant-based diet, or any kind of health concerns that you might be having, that you feel that you need to kind of change your nutrition to help you out. The thing is, I'm not just a person who's lost weight. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist. This is what I do day in and day out, and it's my honor to help you in this capacity. And, if you find anything that I'm talking about here kind of hits home with you, please feel free to head over to my website, veganmichele.com, and book a consult with me. I really go deep dive with people, and I help them, just specifically get what they need. Hello, frugal, healthy homemaker. Oh, I'm glad you're here. I'm going to answer your question. So a few people have written questions ahead of time, which is great. I love kind of compiling what you guys want to hear and then sharing and answering here. And so I realize I'm not centered. My husband just texted me and let me know. Am I centered? Is that better? Okay, so here's the topics I'm going to cover in today's live. And like I said, if there's anything else you want to hear about, please just write and let me know. I'm going to talk about balancing hormones with nutrition, mental health, depression, and kind of getting hold of that from a nutritional aspect, overall health, weight loss. If you guys want to talk about weight loss, that's my jam. Any kind of meal planning for family. I'm going to talk a lot about, I actually just got like 3 questions asking about transitioning. Yes, I'm going to answer that. Frugal Healthy Homemaker says, how do I stay away from dairy and junk food? So let's just go ahead and jump right into that. First and foremost, know that you are not alone when you're having these cravings when it comes to dairy and junk food. Both processed foods, whether they be vegan processed foods or just regular, any kind of processed foods, chips, processed sugars, processed flours, all those things, those have addictive properties to them. You get a dopamine hit when you are eating these things. So there is a low-grade food addiction when it comes to trying to break free from that. It is a struggle. Same thing goes with dairy because there's casomorphins in it, and those are highly addictive properties of the dairy. So I really think the best way to go about breaking a habit is, one, to get everything, not as much, get everything out of your house as much as you can. If there's other people in your house who don't want to eat the way that you're trying to eat, then have your separate space in the kitchen where this is my cupboard. Everybody else, hide your stuff because I don't even want to know where it is. And keep your kitchen environment clean. It's really hard to succeed no matter what it is that you're struggling with if it's right there on the counter calling your name every time you walk by. Can you do it? Absolutely, but it's really hard. Okay, great. Crystal's asking about hormone health. Crystal, be more specific. Hormone health, I want to know if you're needing some information about fertility or like PCOS or menopause. Be a little bit more specific and let me know, and I'll get to that soon. Coming back to cravings and dealing with these, I really think that if you can get your kitchen environment clean, make a commitment to yourself. I'm not going to go out and buy these things for 1 week. I'm going to see how it goes. So what I would do at that point is just make a commitment. Have things ready for yourself in advance. Do some meal prepping ahead of time. Some healthy foods that you know that you can eat that are gonna satisfy you, keep you full, and not reaching for that crap food, really, because that's all it is. It doesn't have nutritional value for you. And then just really digging from those meal preps. If you are looking for some food ideas, I have a cookbook here, Eating Whole. I have an entire meal plan, like an entire month, a 28-day meal plan. I give you ideas for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If having something like that seems like it would be helpful for you, look at that, check it out, and see if it's right for you. The recipes are really good. And so you'll be eating things that taste really good. But just give yourself a fighting chance by keeping the kitchen environment clean, make a commitment to yourself, know why you want to do it, and just keep plugging along. If you screw up, we all do. We're all human, and you just get back up and you keep trying. The more that you get back up and keep trying, the more you will slip, trip, and fall your way to success. Okay, one more craving kind of question. Someone's asking for transitions. Okay, cool, great. I've got one question about PCOS and one about menopause. Perfect, I'll get to you guys in just a second. Someone's talking about transitioning to a vegan diet. They want to do it, but they're having a really hard time because they enjoy the meat, the animal products where they're getting their sources of protein from. And let me just say, I'm sure you've heard me say this before if you watch my channel, we really don't need as much protein as you think or that we've been led to believe in the mainstream media. On average, women need about 46 grams of protein per day. Men need about 56 grams of protein per day. So even if you ate only broccoli for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a full day, you would still be getting somewhere around 175 grams of protein. I just want to check that. I know I wrote that down for you guys. Let me just see. Give me just a sec. Of course, I can't find it. Yeah, you would be getting 146 grams of protein if you only ate broccoli. And if you only ate lentils for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you'd be getting about 157 grams of protein. So it's really easy to get enough protein on a plant-based diet. So I would just throw that notion out the window. Another thing that you could do, especially if your family is turning your nose up to your crazy vegan ideas, is to begin to introduce some mock meats, or maybe say, hey, listen, I really want to go plant-based. I think you guys will like it. I think it's going to be healthy for all of us. Can we commit to, as a family, 2 nights a week, we're going to have, a meatless Monday and a meatless whatever slogan you want to make up for your family. And then the other days we'll continue to have animals. It's not an all or nothing thing. And I know that, my channel name is Vegan Michele, but if you knew my last name, Michele Swaczyna, you would understand why it's Vegan Michele. But I am not, discriminating against anybody who's struggling, trying to transition over to eating more whole plant foods. That's the goal. Just eat more whole plant foods. Where can you fit it in? It's really easy to fit it in at breakfast. You can have smoothies, you can have fresh fruit, you can have oatmeal with fruit. I feel like breakfast is a pretty easy way to transition over. For lunch, maybe you have a salad with a plant protein like a tofu or a tempeh or edamame or some lentils and some couscous or something like that with a big salad. And then maybe your dinner is the last meal where you're still holding on to an animal product and you're having a chicken or a fish or something like that. But then a couple times a week, you start to make a meal that doesn't have the animal products in it. And little by little, it's like chipping away. It's just not all or nothing. Just keep chipping away and keep introducing new recipes to your life. Because it really, really does come down to the day in, day out. It comes down to what I'm going to eat and how is this choice going to affect me for good or for bad. Another thing, last thing I want to say with transition is that if you need to take advantage of the mock meats, are they the healthiest? No, they're not. They're processed. But do it, in the transition phase when you're like, how do I go from a 10-ounce steak every night to lentils? Right? That seems like horrible for some people. It seems like really, really awful. So, transition down. There's a lot of things like the Beyond Meat or the Impossible Burgers or Morningstar, or there's so many brands out there that have mock meats that you can kind of start to play with. So do that. Okay, let's move into, I'm just going to cross off what I'm doing because if you know me in real life, I am all about the list. I got to have a list. Okay, so let's talk about hormones. I will go first with PCOS. So if you have PCOS, you will definitely know it. You probably are dealing with some irregular periods. Maybe you have signs of excess male hormone, like maybe some facial hair or male pattern balding happening, hair thinning, acne, maybe you have ovarian cysts, and The biggest things that you can do nutritionally would be to completely omit animal products. And this is such a huge thing because especially with the meat and dairy that's out there today, these things, these animals, before they are slaughtered, are being shot up with so many antibiotics and hormones. It's really wreaking havoc on the population and society, especially a society that is eating meat, not once a week, not a couple times a month, but 3 times a day, every day, all day. It's wreaking havoc. So that would be the absolute first thing that I would suggest doing. Another thing to do is take a look at your fat intake. And if you're consuming any oils, even if you think, or if you've heard that coconut oil or olive oil is healthy, they're just not. There's many schools of thought on this. And it's crazy to me to hear some of the leading thought leaders in the ketogenic diet purporting these things as health foods. They're really, really not. They're not good for you. So, hi. So if you are having added oils in your diet, I would really consider limiting them completely or reducing slowly, incrementally. And then also plant fats in general. Even if you're having a lot of nuts or you're having a ton of nut butters, these things, you want to try and keep it low fat. This is really going to be beneficial to the PCOS. Another thing, this again seems counterintuitive to what the mainstream media tells, but adding in soy products. So if you think about tofu, even unsweetened soy milk or some edamame, these have been shown to be very helpful with PCOS. And low glycemic foods. If you're not sure what low glycemic foods are, just Google low glycemic foods. You'll find a giant list of those online. It'll pop up really easy. Another thing that has been shown to really be helpful for PCOS is vigorous exercise. Not just, walking around the block. I'm, walking for 20 minutes, vigorous, heart pumping, get sweaty exercise 5 hours a week. There was a study that showed that was the magic kind of key for really seeing a lot of relief in PCOS in addition to the dietary changes. So get a sweat on 5 times a week. And then avoid dairy products. Again, for the same reason that I said in the beginning, they have these added hormones in them. Galactose is one of them. They have excess fat. They are not good. So definitely sticking to a low-fat, whole food, plant-based diet, which you'll hear me say, honestly, for many of the ailments that you guys have questions about, this is a key to seeing conditions improve. Okay, let's go into menopause. Now, I think that a lot of, well, I don't think, I know that a lot of women that I work with are dealing with symptoms of menopause and just this change of life. I'm not there yet, but I'm working with a ton of women who are going through menopause and just dealing with things like hot flashes, excess weight, and just really not knowing what to do, where to go, how to manage this stage of life that they're in. And so I do want to say a lot of times things are prescribed to relieve symptoms of menopause, whether it's prescriptions or bioidentical hormones. And I would really caution against using those things going forward, because I really think you can see a good reduction of those kinds of symptoms, and you can almost go into menopause and through menopause symptom free by really taking a look at your diet. Now, she's saying menopause issues, stay away from soy. And I'm going to challenge that notion, because I think that is a notion that a lot of people have. However, one of the things that I was actually going to write down is there are some studies, and it actually says, I need to gain weight in a healthy way. Okay, cool. Give me just a second. Let me write that down. That some of these studies are showing that favoring soy products during menopause is actually really helpful. A lot of these studies coming out of Japan, where they eat a lot of soy. We're not talking like super processed soy. I'm talking like actual soybeans, or even homemade soy milk, or edamame, miso, tofu, tempeh, things that are not super processed. Maybe they're a little minimally processed, but these have actually been shown to reduce hot flashes. So If you don't believe me, and if that sounds counterintuitive to what you've heard, I encourage you to do some research, because there are studies out there showing that introducing soy during menopause is actually extremely helpful, especially in regards to reducing hot flashes. Another thing that can be really helpful is the herb red clover. You can find this online. I'm sure it's on Amazon. 80 milligram dose per day, but caveat, changing your nutrition is going to be even more helpful than just adding an herb on top of a bad diet. So if you're dealing with, moodiness, irritability, depression, I will absolutely, all of these things, like I said, are just going to be kind of woven into each other. Staying away from soy made a difference for her, she's saying. Okay, cool. So what do you feel regarding the soy? What did you feel was the biggest difference? I'll let her have a chance to answer. And then someone else popped in and said organic soy is the best. Quick tips for weight loss. Magic wand. Let me write this down. Yeah, so then, everything is not a cookie cutter approach. I'm going by what I've read scientific reports wise, but hey, if taking soy out of your diet was helpful for you, I'd be curious to know what kind of differences you felt. So if you have a chance, write that. And then someone else said, yeah, organic soy, absolutely. You want to get organic soy products, especially here in America, because soy is a GMO crop, and we just want to stay away from genetically modified foods as much as possible. Okay, let's talk now. Any other hormone questions, you guys? Oh, I got a couple questions about acne. I used to have major hot flashes, she says. Okay, and reducing soy helped? I'll wait for her answer. I'll go on and speak about acne right now. So the biggest offenders for acne are chocolate and dairy and just an overall not healthy diet. Excess sugar from, lattes and coffees and alcohol, lots of oil, processed foods, processed flours, refined everything. And someone else is saying some people may be allergic to soy and may not know it. Very true. In that case, if you have added soy to try and reduce soy, hot flashes, for example, we're just talking for example, and you're just like, gosh, this doesn't feel right, something feels off, then I would encourage you to individually do an elimination diet. And this is just general information I'm throwing out here for you guys right now. But if you want to get real specific and kind of pinpoint where there's any issues, please book a consult with me and we can absolutely do that. Okay, going back to acne. I had acne really bad, like from my teens all the way till, I don't know, until I turned vegan, to be honest, which was like, I think I was 28 or 29. And it was awful. I drank so much coffee and I was using topical things that would just be so aggressive on my face, and lots of heavy makeup. And I was also probably pretty borderline anorexic at that point. So all of those things really do come into play when you are able to realize that what you put inside your body internally is the biggest factor that you can do to change. You'll begin to see a big difference with acne. But if you're going to do anything at all, I would suggest cutting dairy out first. Dairy, and then just limiting the caffeine and the junk food. Okay, let me go back a little bit. I got a couple questions in there. One person asked about healthy weight gain, how to gain weight. I have a video on that on my channel. If you just put in the search, Vegan Michele gain weight or healthy weight gain, I'm sure it will pop up. I think I have two videos there. In order to gain weight, it's just a matter of maybe starting to introduce an additional 500 to 800 calories per day to your daily intake, and that might seem like a lot, but that can actually be accomplished in a single smoothie if you really load it up with, a plant milk, you're welcome, plant milk and some fruits that you enjoy, as well as maybe some nuts and seeds, one or the other. It's really easy, a date or two, put that in there. It's really easy to get that extra additional nutrition in there without just resulting to junk food or without resulting to adding cooking, plant-based oils and butters and things like that. I would say if you're having a bowl of oatmeal, maybe try to, that's what I figured. This lovely viewer has had a horrific car accident, and she's lost weight from being in the hospital. So I don't know if you're still, if you're able to bring in your own food or if it's a hassle or what, but if you're able to, get those more dense whole starches in your diet, the larger portions of oatmeals, maybe some grains and legumes. Of course, you still want to have all of the healthy, colorful produce, because those antioxidants are going to help you be, heal as you're still going through what you're going through. But to gain weight, add a nice packed smoothie full of something nutritious but still dense. Oh man. She says, I was 90 pounds after I left the hospital. I'm 37 years old. Oh, bless. That's really, really slight. So yeah, just continue. Watch the video where I talk about weight gain, and that can give you some other ideas of how to do that healthfully. It's a misnomer, and it's just not true that you just need to add oils and junk food. You can do it healthfully. You absolutely can. Okay. This question made me laugh. Somebody just asked about weight loss, super quick weight loss, and if there's some sort of magic pill weight loss. And unfortunately, there's just not, right? There's not. There's no magic pill that can help us lose weight. I wish there was, because in many times in my life, I would have been pleasantly happy. But if you begin to be consistent with what you're eating, again, if you need some ideas for recipes, head over to my website. I have a ton of free recipes. I've got 2 cookbooks there if you're hurting for recipes. Otherwise, it's just a matter, you're welcome. It's just a matter of consistently saying, waking up, putting one foot in front of the other, and making the healthier choice. Getting that kitchen in a clean, pristine environment so you have nothing in the shelves that's going to be tempting to you. I know in the back of my mind, if I've got some random chocolate chip that I've been seeing in the back of the Lazy Susan, I will find it. And even though I know all the right things to do, if I'm in that mood, I'm gonna find it. So clean out your kitchen. I'm sure I'm not alone with that. And then just really commit to not going out to eat for a time. Doesn't have to be forever. Commit to it for some time. Reduce oil or omit it completely. And then just stay away from processed foods as much as you possibly can. Little by little, it will happen. If you'd like to take a look at my weight loss course, these are the kinds of things, the habits that I'm teaching in it that are really effective for long-term weight loss. And that's the goal, right? You don't just want to follow a cookie cutter weight loss meal plan and then at the end of it, go off the deep end again. You want to be able to know what works for your life, put those into place day after day after day until the success is coming from you. And that's what I do in my weight loss course. I help you do that so that you can really have the success. She says, even eating super clean, I feel too many good carbs is too much and too much fat is too much. Yes, okay, this is a great point that I've brought up before. But I think that, and some people won't agree with me, I think that having too many starches is not great for everyone. It's not great for me. It's not great for the majority of women that I work with. Starches I'm talking about is specifically, even if it's healthy, whole food, plant-based breads or a whole grain pasta. I know that for myself, I can't be eating those every single day. I can't even be eating brown rice every single day if I want to lose weight. So maybe that's a place where you want to focus on and take a look at in the upcoming week. I always talk with my clients like, how many times a week can you have those things and still continue to see weight loss? Or how many times a week are you having those basically too much and the weight loss is stalling? So let that be a little experiment for you this coming week. Stick to things, I guess the long term of it is sticking to fruits and vegetables, keeping the fat low, having a little bit of beans, half a cup to a cup, maybe 2 cups of beans or lentils per day, and then just playing with that ratio of whole grains. Whole grains are not bad. They're not demonized. But I do feel like a lot of women, myself included, we have an issue with that when trying to lose weight. She also just asked about avocados, how much. You're not gonna like what I have to say. I would either just omit them completely or just have about a quarter of an avocado. Watch the video on my channel. I think it's called like How Much Fat, something like that. How much fat do I need to lose weight? Watch that video. I give away lots of really practical things that you can do and kind of show you the difference. We've got a comedian in the house saying fish meat is practically a vegetable. All right. Okay, let me know any other questions that you guys have. Let's talk about mental health and diet. I feel that mental health is being spoken about a lot lately, which I think is really a good thing. But I think also a lot of people are not thinking about the connection between mental health and diet. When I work with clients, I work with them in a very holistic way because, you know, everything is connected. It's not just, you know, if you never sleep and you're staring at a screen 24 hours a day and you're eating a pristine diet, yeah, that's going to be helpful to you. But there's so many other areas of your life that you really need to focus in on and get those dialed in. You know, having a sleep routine, putting the phone away. I know I'm on the phone. I know we're all on the phone right now or the computer right now. So I understand the irony, but we're not meant as humans to be, avocado, weight gain, if so, how much? Okay, 1 second. We're not meant to be in front of these screens constantly. So let me answer her question real quick and then I'll go back to mental health. To gain weight, she's asking how much avocado to gain weight per day. Again, I would play with it. Maybe you're able to eat a half of an avocado a day, but I would also look to other whole plant sources because avocados are omega-6, which is not horrible, but you want to get more omega-3s in your diet. So adding in chia seeds, walnuts, flax seeds, hemp seeds, things like that. And then also in addition to that, yeah, have a half avocado on top of your salad or your sandwich or something like that. Okay, so going back to mental health, studies have shown that eating a vegan diet actually reduces, or let me just read this. Following a vegan diet reported less anxiety and stress compared to omnivores and lacto-ovo vegetarians. So I found that really interesting. Again, I'm not here to push an agenda. If you want to have meat on occasion, you're welcome. If you want to have meat on occasion, I'm not your boss or I'm just not. So you do what you need to do, but I do find it really interesting that they have done studies and they've shown that eating a vegan diet is actually better for mental health. Pretty interesting. Particularly benefits of fruits, vegetables, nuts, and beans. Also very interesting to me too, regarding mental health concerning what I just talked about with weight loss, sticking to kind of more, maybe a little bit of reduced whole grains. Just interesting. Take it for what it is. So healthy foods can change your brain chemistry and they can make you feel more even-keeled. I really feel that a lot of times if you've ever gone through depression or if you've just gone through like a period of blues, you know, you're not snacking on broccoli. It's not happening, right? You're reaching for junk that's going to make you feel good in the immediate moment, but really makes you feel quite bad in the long term. So exercise also is very important for mental health. Again, that can be, I know earlier I spoke about PCOS and the vigorous exercise, but even if you did like 20-minute walk or 30-minute walk every single day, or you walk to your end of your street and you walk back, absolutely go for it. Just to get some fresh air, especially if you can exercise outside. I think it's super interesting and super good because you're deep breathing, you're breathing that fresh air at the same time. And you know, I think when we hear inflammation, we always think about joints or different parts of the body, but inflammation can happen in our brain as well. So as you eat anti-inflammatory whole plant foods, mental health is something that you're going to be heading towards. Let's see. A couple more things on mental health, and then I will get back to that question that just came. Vitamin B12. If you're not taking vitamin B12, it's essential for brain health. So you don't need that much. You only need 2.4 micrograms per day. Very small amount. I can link the one that I take if you are looking for one, or if anybody has any. that they like. Any advice on things to do for mental health when stuck indoors and in a chair due to recovery? Yeah, indoors. Yeah, I'll answer that in just a sec. Let me write down your other question too, because I'm going to forget. Sleep. Sleep is so important, and being cautious of caffeine and alcohol. So something that is going to sound super funny to help you sleep, because I have trouble getting to sleep myself because, you know, as a mom of a young girl who doesn't sleep through the night or hasn't slept through the night. I've been sleep deprived for about 4 years, and something that has been shown to actually help through study, I started doing it and it was really, really effective for me, is doing a little stretch, even like, you know, stretch your arms up to the ceiling, stretch down to the floor, just a couple minutes before you're going to go to bed, and then making yourself physically yawn. You get that deep breath, and something about actually yawning, then you're going to start to actually yawn, even though you've kind of contrived this yawn, and it really does help you get to sleep better. Deep breathing before you sleep is good as well. Box breathing, inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, making sure that you stay away from screens as much as possible. How do you change your palate from very spicy to moderate taste buds to transition to whole plant-based? Okay, great. Let me answer. I'll answer that in just a sec. Let me get back to these 2 mental health questions. So she was asking about maca for mental health. I think maca root is a wonderful addition to anybody's diet. Maca also, by the way, balances hormones. It's very good for the sexual or the reproductive hormones. So that's something else that if you're dealing with hot flashes or any kind of menopausal symptoms or the PCOS, maybe you want to experiment. You don't have to have a lot, maybe like a teaspoon in your smoothie, or make like a little kind of warm drink and stir that in there. Being indoors, let's talk about being indoors and mental health. I mean, gosh, I'm sure that you are in a very hard situation right now, and I sympathize with what you're going through. If there's any way to be close to a window, and if you can open that window, breathe that fresh air. If you can get the sun on your face through the open window as well, hopefully not through a glass, because some of them have, you know, the UV kind of strange coating or blocking. So if you can get in a place in front of a screen door or something where you can get sunshine on your body, vitamin D has also been something to be very, very effective for boosting mood. I'm sure you know that. And then if there's any part of you that you can move, whether it's just neck, maybe a neck roll or something like that, do that. If you can deep breathe, do that. Even, you know, once an hour or something like that. Read a physical book as opposed to a screen, and pray, meditate. All of these things are very, very important. Setting intentions for maybe not what you're going to do on this day, your body's recovering and healing, but what you plan on doing a month down the road, what you plan on doing 3 months down the road. I think it's so important when you're dealing with mental health issues that you stay addicted to hope. This is so, so important for all of us, because as soon as you loosen that grasp on your hope, it's really easy to slide downwards. So stay addicted to hope, have some goals for yourself, set some intentions of what you want to be doing, you know, 3 months down the road, 6 months down the road, and don't give up. I think that that's really important to help yourself. Okay, let's talk about someone just asked a question about how do you transition from eating pretty spicy foods to plant-based to just a kind of bland plant-based diet, I think is what she was kind of hinting at. And the good news is you're welcome. A plant-based diet does not have to be bland and tasteless. I think that's, again, maybe a misconception that a lot of people have. My food that I make is super, super good. I'll answer that. Intermittent fasting. And sometimes, you know, people like spice, sometimes not. I think with spice, the only thing to be cautious of is if you're using some kind of packaged spicy sauce that has a ton of sodium, then that would be a place to back off. But there's plenty of ways to make your food spicy, from jalapenos to dried chili peppers, lots of flavors. Take advantage of what's in your spice cabinet and start playing with all of these different spices. Something that I am like loving, and I don't think I've shared it on the channel yet. I made this recipe, I developed this recipe for that Freezer Fit company where I'm a chef, and it's an Ethiopian kind of a lentil dish. Oh my gosh, it is so spicy and it is so good. And I'd never had Ethiopian spice before. So I would just say, get out of your box when it comes to being in a food rut and see what you can try. Try some different cuisines out there. And you can keep it spicy with whole plant foods, garlic, jalapeno, peppers, spices, lots of spices. I would head in that direction. And I love spicy too. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't love spicy when it's super salty and I feel disgusting afterwards. So there is a way to do a healthy diet, healthy plant-based diet, and still have some flavor. Okay, thoughts on intermittent fasting for weight loss. I'm all for intermittent fasting. I think it is amazing. I was resistant to it for many, many years because my background is eating disorder. That is my background. And so I always kind of felt that it was throwing or would throw me into the kind of all or nothing headspace where I was when I had disordered eating or when I ate disordered. But it didn't. It really didn't. I went full force. I would say the last little bit of my weight loss journey that I was on after giving birth to Naya recently, intermittent fasting was the thing that helped me just get to my goal weight like immediately at the end. Because I was doing all the things that I preach about here on this channel and in my nutrition practice. But I think that intermittent fasting is great. So it doesn't have to be extreme. You can take a look at what you're eating. And if you are eating in a 12-hour window, then 12 hours you would be fasting. And 12 hours, that's doable for, I'd say, pretty much anyone. Maybe if you're already doing that and you want to shorten your eating window to 8 hours, that could be something as simple as stopping eating, a little bit earlier or pushing your breakfast a little bit later. And something that I found that was really great about intermittent fasting for me personally, and I've read that it's the same for lots of people, is that it was the thing that helped me just kind of squash a few of the last cravings that I was dealing with. Okay, I'll give you an example. Bread. I love bread. It is so good. And I'm not just talking about store-bought bread because that's disgusting in my opinion. My husband makes homemade bread. The recipe's from Be Vegan, Skip the Diet, Just Eat Healthy. And it is the best bread in the world. He makes it all the time. He eats it all the time. It's right there on the counter. So for me, that is a big struggle. I can't get rid of it because it's his bread. He eats it. So it's there. That's part of our life. And what I would do is sometimes when I just wanted a snack at night, I was going for that bread. And with going for that bread, I was probably eating, another 300 calories per day. Once I said, hey, I'm going to stop eating at, well, I stopped eating pretty early, but say you're going to stop eating at 7, and then, you're not going to have that piece of bread anymore. You're not having it at night. And so you've automatically cut even 300 calories. 300 calories every single day for a week starts to add up real quick. So even if it's something as little as that, I'm a huge proponent of intermittent fasting. She also asked about OMAD. And if you don't know what OMAD is, that means 1 meal a day. So OMAD, that's the acronym. I don't have a problem with people eating OMAD. I think if that works for your schedule, that's great. The one thing that I would be really cautious of with OMAD is that you are eating healthy and that you're getting a wide variety of foods in your, my husband's writing bread with a little bread emoji, that you're getting a wide variety of foods in the time frame that you've set as your 1 meal a day. So oftentimes people do 1 hour as their eating window. So they fast for 23 hours and they eat the one hour of the day. If that works for you and you feel that it's sustainable for you, awesome. But don't go and just eat a bunch of junk, and make sure in that you're starting with easily digestible food, fruits. You're doing potentially, you're doing, I'll answer that in 1 second about the hydrotherapy. Where's my train of thought? You're doing fruits, you're doing vegetables, maybe you're adding in some green juice in there just to get even more amount of phytonutrients in your diet. And then you're having something from every whole food plant-based food group. So you're having a whole grain, potentially, you're doing lentils, you're doing a small amount of nuts and seeds. So that's what I would say when it comes to OMAD. I've done OMAD before. I actually really like it because I have so much more time because I'm not sitting around, making a bunch of meals. You actually really do save time, but it's not for everyone. And that can really, if you have struggled with an eating disorder in the past, that can be something that can really throw you over the edge. So just proceed with caution. Someone just asked about hydrotherapy. I'm not 100% sure if you mean, do you mean like alternating cold, hot showers? Is that what you're meaning? If that is what you're meaning, I'll let you write back. But if that is what you're meaning, I think it's great. I think even doing like a sauna and then a cold plunge pool, or just alternating in your shower. Okay, cool. That's what she's asking. Hot water, not hot, but like, you know, showerable water and then cold water. That really does stimulate so many systems in your body. She says, I have a ton, I love your name, Yaz Beloved. I have a ton of various spices from across the world. Dope. I lost your comment. Yeah, definitely go for the spices. Play with them as much as possible. So Tex-Mex, Indian, Ethiopian, escaping me, what I just said, Indian, Italian. I mean, there's so many spices to play with. There's a really good hot sauce called Yellowbird's hot sauce that is actually out of Texas as well. If you want to check that out, I know they sell it at natural grocers, and you're welcome. And they also sell it at Whole Foods. Okay, cool. Okay. Let me answer hydrotherapy, then fave skincare products. Hydrotherapy, great, absolutely. Whenever you can get back into it, do it. I would do it more often, but gosh, because it's like giving yourself a bikini wax. Because you have control of it, you just don't want to pull it to cold. Am I alone here? Yes, if you can do the alternating hot-cold shower, absolutely wonderful. Crystal asked about favorite beauty products. When I first started this channel many years ago, and I was just kind of doing it for fun, that's what I started doing this channel about, was my favorite beauty products, because I was a professional singer and dancer and I had to put so much makeup on all the time, and all of the vegan products, honestly, were terrible. They were just awful. I'm like, coming off stage, I would have makeup like on my chest because it all just melted off. It was horrible. I really like, nowadays, I wear a lot less makeup, but I like Ilia products, I-L-I-A. You just need to check. Some of their products are not vegan, so if that's important to you, then you just want to check on that. I really like their formulas. They last a long time for me. I like their kind of multi-purpose formulas. Like right now I have the same thing on my eyes, my cheeks, and my lips. Obviously it looks the same color, but that makes it really easy for me. I don't have to deal with, you know, having a million things in my makeup bag. For skincare, I love the brand Osea Malibu. It's very pricey. I buy primarily everything on eBay, and I'm like the top bidder all the time. So that's how I save money on that. But their products are really wonderful. Regarding like skin lotion, typically I'll use either jojoba oil or avocado oil on my skin, or I make like a DIY body butter. I haven't shared the new recipe that I'm making it with. It's okay, it's not quite right, but I use that. And just disclaimer, like I said, I had a lot of acne as a teenager and young adult, and I was in the sun constantly. So I have a lot of sun damage, and I get comments about that occasionally. You know, I'm human, I'm just a person. I had bad skin. I was in the sun too much. So be it. Everything is better. I can tell you, I look a lot better now than I did before. But yeah, so those are the brands that I typically use now. And I just try to keep it as simple as possible. If you're looking at the back of an ingredient list and you can find something as minimal, Lima Pure is another one that's really good. Very minimal as far as ingredients. Yeah, those are my favorites. In my Amazon storefront, I have... just asking about workouts. In my Amazon storefront, I have a ton of the products that I have used in the past or I'm currently using, so you might want to just check that out. Thank you guys, you're so sweet. She says, you look way more beautiful with natural makeup. I appreciate it. It's really funny. I consider myself pretty much retired from performing, but recently I've done 2 gigs in the last couple weeks, which is just crazy. And I put on all this stage makeup last night, and I was like, I don't even recognize myself. I look so weird and like fake. It's like literally a mask. Like, I think natural makeup is better. Okay, so somebody else just asked about favorite workouts. Okay, I love working out. And it's something that I do every single day because it makes me feel amazing. And my favorite form of working out is Pilates. I have been a Pilates instructor for about 17 years, I think. And that's what I would just do. Like, say I was in between a tour, or I was, when I lived in Las Vegas, I would teach Pilates in the morning and then I would go work in a show at night. I just love it. I think it's absolutely wonderful. It's very effective, functional movement. Back there behind the plants, you can't see it, but I have a Pilates reformer, which is an amazing piece of equipment. But I also do mat Pilates pretty much every day. The Sweat app, I know I mentioned this, I think in our last live, they have a Pilates program by my absolute favorite Pilates instructor. Her name is Sarah Calhoun. So I would check that out if you're interested in trying Pilates. It's not, I'm a firm believer in finding the exercise that you enjoy, because then you're going to do it. And if you don't enjoy it, it's just going to be tedious. So if you don't like, you know, what's that thing called? CrossFit, or you don't like high intensity workouts, Pilates may be something that you like. It builds lean muscles. Crystal's asking for a filmed workout, perhaps. I would love to do a filmed workout. I wasn't sure if anybody would be interested. I'm always like, you know, not self-conscious, but I'm not sure what you guys want to see from me sometimes. So I'm like, oh, I better just only stick to this. But yeah, absolutely. If you want to see a workout, let me know in the comments, guys. And I would absolutely love to take you through some, because it's actually really hard. It's wonderful for toning the core and your whole body. But Pilates is my go-to. Walking, hiking. I used to do something called the Tracy Anderson method for many, many years. And I just found that I was just over it. I didn't want to do it anymore. So those are I pretty much stick to Pilates, to be honest, and walking. Okay, any last questions? I'll probably wrap it up here pretty soon. I'm gonna just look at my notes. Please write anything if you're thinking of, oh, I have a question. Aw, thanks, Crystal. She says you're adorable. I appreciate it. I do have a question for you guys, those of you who are watching. I'm thinking about, or kind of it's in the works, I want to do something like a membership or a Patreon situation where you can have more access to some of the things that I share with you on YouTube. And I'm wondering, I'd love to have your feedback on what you would like. I was thinking, you know, potentially I could do, she says, have you ever tried barre? It's pretty good. Yes, I have. I have tried barre. I really, really like it, but I like Pilates more. I'm thinking for this kind of additional thing to either have, you know, maybe 4 recipes a week, maybe a live session like this, or challenges. Please let me know if you would find value in that. I would love to do something where we could connect even further, and what you would find value in. I would really appreciate it, because you guys are here. I know that it's good to kind of have the same language. And so what do you want to see if I were to put together something like that? Hi, oh, hello. Okay, so what do I want to say here? Oh, another thing that I was thinking, 2 things, a couple of announcements things. I'm almost finished with the next cookbook. It's not really a cookbook. It is a cookbook, but it's not really in the typical sense of the word. I'll leave that mysteriously in the air. So be watching this space for when that comes out. And then I was also thinking in January, I would love to run some kind of reset. Would you guys be interested in something like that? I'm not sure if it would be a reset of just like juicing and smoothies, or if it would be whole food, plant-based kind of meal plan situation. So any feedback that you guys have, I would greatly appreciate. And if you have anything that I spoke about today resonated with you, and you're dealing with a specific health issue that you know could be helped with nutrition, whether it's weight loss or anything specific, hormone related, anything like that, please head over to my website, book a consultation with me so we can dive in deeper to your situation and you know, help you get on the right foot to getting relief or recovery or something like that. I work with people on detox. I work with people on a plethora of nutritional subjects, because honestly, it's a huge part of our life. Crystal says, I'm down for anything that has to do with weight loss. You and most people, I totally, totally understand where you're coming from. You know, and it, like you said, I know you were joking, but it's just not a magic pill. You gotta be in the trenches for some time. And I think my biggest tip to any kind of change, dietary wise, whether it's some kind of condition you're trying to clear up or weight loss, 3 days. 3 days. And I know I've spoken about that many times here on the channel. Get through it for 3 days. If you can get through something for 3 days, it's like you get over this hump where you're like, okay, I am strong. I can do this. Cheetos, you're not calling my name anymore. I can really do this. But give yourself the space to have 3 days of eating the way that you know is going to be beneficial for you. So yeah, if there's not any more questions, I will head out. I know that, I don't know, it's a really beautiful day here, so I want to take advantage of that too. I hope that wherever you are in the world that you're having a beautiful day and that you're blessed, and thank you guys so much for your live questions and for tuning in. I truly appreciate it. And if there's anything I didn't cover, leave me a comment in this. She says, I would like to hear about detox recipes and whatever you have to say about it. Well, Crystal, you will be hearing about it very soon, but I love that idea for a reset, because I think that paying attention to ongoing detox in our life is very, very important. So absolutely. Thank you for your feedback. All right, you guys, I will see you very soon in my next video. Let's see, what is my next video? I think the next video I'm going to be sharing with you guys is going to be sharing some tips for eating out, and I'm actually going out in a video. And then I've got some good recipe videos coming up. I've got some lots of different things coming up. So thank you so much for joining me with this live. Have a beautiful day. Bye.